I was destroying my confidence in the belief that I had in myself every single day without even realizing it. Most of last year, I would write out a couple goals that I had for the following day before going to bed. And the goals would be something along the lines of make this amount of money, talk to this many people in public, do this much cold outreach. But my idea of a goal and of a win was all out of whack. It was thrown off. I thought in order for something to be considered a win, it had to be this huge number. It had to be borderline impossible. It had to take all this stress and effort and energy. And so I was setting these huge goals. Every night I was saying I'm talking to 20 people the following day. I was saying I'm going to do this much cold outreach, which was a much bigger amount than I had ever done consistently. It was make this amount of money, which again was a much larger amount that I had ever done consistently. And so what would happen is at the end of the night, I would go look at the goals and I had done some of them, a little bit of some of them, but I hadn't been able to check everything off the list. Not once was I able to check everything off the list. Even though I was maybe, some days I was talking to 2 people, some days I was talking to 10 people in public, other days it might have even been 18. But even though I talked to 18 people and that's amazing, that's great, that's opening myself up and making 18 new connections, I still couldn't check that box off. I still couldn't consider that a win. Even though that's a big win, talking to 18 people is a massive win. But in my mind, I couldn't say it was a win because my goal was 20. So I came up too short regardless of what I had done. Now, this is a problem because your self-belief and your confidence comes from keeping your word, stacking wins, and doing what you said you would do. And the beauty of it is that nobody can tell you what a win is. Nobody can make the goals for you. A win for somebody else may not be a win for you, and vice versa. So why not start small? If you want to guarantee yourself to be able to check these boxes off every day, just commit to less. And I couldn't get this through my head. I thought, no, I'm way past that. I'm way past talking to one person a day. I'm way past doing one cold outreach message a day. That I can't count that as wins. But I should have. I should have. And now I learned my lesson. Because, like I said, nobody can tell you what a win is. So even if your goals are talk to one person, do one cold outreach message a day, let's say those are two goals that you have, those can be checked off every single day. Because let's say you do the first one and then you end up talking to 10 people. If your goal was 20, that still would have been a loss. But if your goal was 1, you just blew that out of the water. And so you did the same amount of putting yourself out there and of talking and of connecting that you did before. But this time you can feel amazing about it compared to the past where you thought you came up short. And little do you know that that whole time you're just kind of tanking your self-confidence and the belief that you have in yourself. So start small. Anything can be a win, okay? I had those 3 goals that I mentioned, but I would also list a couple more. So this whole list that I would write every night was 6, 7, 8 goals, all huge numbers. So every day I was maybe doing a quarter of each one, but I never could fully mark off the boxes. And so at the beginning I was trying to cope and say, it's fine, at least I'm doing something. But eventually I started getting this anxiety and these overwhelming thoughts and this way of thinking that I hadn't had in quite some time, but I understood eventually that that came from not sticking to my word technically, by not being able to check these boxes off every single day. And so start small. Start small. For example, I wasn't making my bed for a while, and then I started making my bed. And a lot of people would say that's not a win. A lot of people would say, okay, that's fine, but how is that going to help me gain confidence and self-belief? Because if you say it's a win, then making your bed in the morning becomes a win. You said you would do something and you do it. You said you would talk to 20 people and you talked to 18, you didn't do it. But you said you would make your bed and you do it. That's a win. Okay? So this is the joy and the beauty of it, is that the wins can be as big or as small as you want. So why not start small? The mistake that I've made many times is committing to too much and thinking that a win is only a win if it's this huge, huge goal, this stressful and taxing number that you have to hit at the end of the day. Making your bed, maybe your second goal for the day could be drinking a glass of water when you wake up. It doesn't have to be meditate for 20 minutes or take a cold shower or do something that's super hard. It could be something like drink a glass of water. Because this way, making your bed and drinking a glass of water, you could check that off every day for the rest of your life. Those are two goals that you could check off pretty easily every single day. And those are two wins that you could get every single day for the rest of your life. And so I recommend maybe having 3 goals. Let's say you're just getting started in personal development and trying to change your life and become a better version of yourself. Start with 3 simple goals. I've given you 2 examples of making your bed, drinking a glass of water, and let's say the third one, you're trying to get into the gym. Instead of saying that you have to work out for 2 hours every single day, just say that you have to go to the gym. Just go to the gym. You don't even have to lift weights. You don't have to hit a PR. You don't have to do 30 minutes of cardio. Just say go to the gym, because then at least you're getting in the habit of going. At least you're stacking the win of going to the gym. Maybe it's a 5-minute walk. Walk that 5 minutes, enter the gym, and if you really want to, you could exit. But guess what? That's a win, because you said you'd go to the gym and you went to the gym. So I hope you guys are starting to understand what I'm talking about. That these goals, a lot of people's ego, like mine did, will get in the way and say, no, go into the gym. That's not a win. I have to set a PR today. I have to progressive overload. But if you're doing that, then you got to make sure that you're going to be able to hit it. Only make goals that you know you're going to be able to hit every single day. Making your bed, showing up to the gym, getting 150 grams of protein in, or whatever it is. These are goals that you can hit every single day. But making this amount of money, that you don't even really have control over that. I can't control how many clients sign up to be in my program. That'll just come when I've deserved it. And so having a goal like that of make this amount of money, I wouldn't recommend. Because that could be out of your control. But something like help one person a day, that could be in your control. And then that could lead to making money. Okay? So make your goals a bit simpler than they have been in the past. Make sure they're attainable and that you'll be able to hit them every single day. Because remember, at the end of the day, confidence and self-belief comes from doing what you said you were going to do, stacking wins regardless how big or small they are. So you might as well make them small, make sure they're sustainable, and get to it. Let's go, baby.